Hello and welcome to VB WRX. My name is Wace, and today we are going to be doing another installation that we have found is not available anywhere on the internet. We're actually going to be installing the Process West intake for the 22 and 24 WRX. Now, my friend Jose was nice enough to bring his car, his intake over today to let me do this installation. We actually looked online, and I'm, again, very surprised that there is no installation video of this. There's no sound clips of this anywhere. Even on Process West's website, they don't really have anything showcasing this intake. Now, to be fair, most of the intakes are very similar in nature. Even this one, when I look at it, it's, I guess the only one that's vastly different is the ETS with the billet velocity stack. But there's a couple of interesting things about Process West themselves that I want to point out. Okay, so a basic, not really like a super unboxing, but just kind of going through some of the things that you'll get from the box. Obviously, they do have their own little, like the intake box, the intake itself. What's really cool about Process West, and I didn't know this until recently, is they cut all of their styrofoam for their shipping in-house. They build all their parts in-house, and all the stickers that you get from them are also cut in-house. Now, Process West is a company in Australia that apparently they have been around a very long time, especially in the Subaru community. I wasn't fully aware of them until most recently, and I actually did end up reaching out to them to ask them about their, they have a couple of front mounts that they've got, and I wanted to know if the crash bar would fit on them, and they were actually, first of all, it was nice, they knew who I was, which is amazing, because that's all the way in Australia, and second, they were like really nice to help out, even though I wasn't like particularly interested in buying a part. I just wanted to do a video on their parts, which, I'll be fair, I haven't done yet, but I still want to talk about that, which is why I'm glad that the intake is here, because we'll see how the fitment for this is compared to the fitment for some of the other intakes. And so far, I've installed a few intakes, and let me tell you, it hasn't all been rosy. So intake installations are usually pretty simple in nature. You got to take the duct off, you got to take this thingy off, and then you got to take the pipe. The pipe is in two sections, and what we are going to do is I'm actually going to take some of the plastic guard down from underneath the car. I've already got it jacked up so that we have easy access to the turbo inlet area. And that's really it. Once you get it out, you just put the other one in. Now, the Process West intake does have an intake box, so there's about 3 screws here that need to be removed, these hex bolts that need to be removed, and that's where the box is gonna go. So I'm gonna set you guys up so you guys can see, but this isn't like a super detailed installation guide. I have a couple of those for the intakes already, but you guys can enjoy. And if there's something weird does pop up, you know I'll let you guys know. So this part is a little difficult for me to film, but I wanted to show you guys what I end up doing is I end up taking the first plastic piece off here and just a couple of clips off of this guy so that I can get to the intake a little bit easier, especially the turbo inlet, this area. It's a little bit hard. I find it difficult to get to from the top. I don't know how people do it. I find this just really easy to do because it's just a couple of clips and like two bolts. And then you have full access to the joint if you're doing the Perrin install. Or if you're doing an ETS or some other one that's like the full length, you have access to the turbo inlet back there, which is that guy right there. Now that the stock intake pipe is off, we need to get the aftermarket intake pipe ready. So one of the things I need to do is I actually need to remove the MAP sensor off the stock box and put it on the aftermarket box. Now it's just 2 Phillips screws, and it pops right off. And the nice thing about this intake is that it actually does come with a MAF extender cable, which I don't know many of them that do. And it's a nice touch because the MAF does tend to kind of hit a limit lengthwise. And so if it doesn't, obviously if your intake doesn't come with one, I do believe that that is an attachment that you can purchase from different companies. I would suggest anything you take off of the intake that is stock, you put back on the intake. For example, any nuts and bolts, in case you ever need to go back to stock, this way you're not looking for them. So the bolt that was on the back of the intake box, I put back on the box, and these MAF sensor bolts, these screws I'm gonna put back as well. because the process west intake does come with its own bolts to put the MAF sensor on. Another thing I do want to mention, since this is a 3-inch pipe from the MAF all the way to the inlet, this is not something that you want to run without a tune. Just not a good idea to do that. So if you do it, you are doing it at your own danger. I'm gonna make sure I put it on the right side. I think it goes like this, but I'll double check that, make sure I put the, oh yeah, well, obviously it's gotta be like that. So I think the pipe's gonna be like that, MAF's gonna go like this. Obviously make sure the hole is pointing up so the air can actually go through it. So there's something that, so this is something I wanna bring up. This actually is something that we run into with every intake, is this area right here. As you can see, it doesn't always sit completely flush, and there's this little ridge right here. And this is, I think I could tighten this a little bit more, but this is one thing that I always end up being confused about. Like I could tighten it a lot, and this does move, but I don't know if it's supposed to be that difficult. You guys are gonna have to let me know in the comments below. I actually ended up having the same issue with my Perrin, and I just tightened it down, and it did, you know, it fit, but sometimes it doesn't, like you think like, okay, well maybe it's not gonna fit, and you just force it. And honestly, I don't want to force it. So let me know if you guys run into the same issue with this area right here. The coupler itself, easy peasy. That's really never an issue. It's always lining this guy up that I always have issues with. So we're pretty much done here. I'm just gonna tighten this one down a bit more, and then we're gonna put the, we're actually gonna get the tune installed, because Jose does have an actual OTS tune for this from VB WRX, and we'll make sure that the everything is okay, like there's no leaks or anything like that, and then I'll show you guys how to put the box on. So let me show you what we're talking about with the MAF extender. So you can see this is where the MAF came off, right? And we need to go all the way down there. So you will need an extender to get from there to there. And the great thing is they do actually provide one. All right, so Jose does actually have a Cobb access port from VB, and it's kind of nice. They give you like this little personalized touch. So if you've never seen what a Cobb access port actually looks like, this is everything that comes in it. Obviously, VB performance stickers are separate. I never got a look. I never got a Cobb keychain, so I'm gonna have to go and ask them where my keychain at. You get a little VB performance keychain, which is cool. So you do get your case. The case does come with a USB most of the time. It does come, I can't open it with one hand. I think the USB and the ODB sensor or the ODB cable is in here. You get like the, I think it's kind of like the cheapo case that sticks to the dash with a double-sided tape. I would suggest not using that. I'm gonna suggest to Jose to get a different one as well, because mine, especially during the heat, ends up falling off all the time. All right, so I don't know what you're gonna wanna do. What I ended up doing is I ended up mounting it right here temporarily until I can get like a different mount, because this isn't super great, because what's going to end up happening is in the heat this actually does fall apart, but it's good temporarily. As for the ODB cable, what I ended up doing was I ended up just running as much as I needed, and mine just kind of dangles, and then I just plug it up. So that's something you'll just have to worry about. If most people do like to buy that IBR mount that's in the vent, but it's like $80, and I think it's really good, but I'm not paying $80 for that, so. All right, go ahead and read it. All right, we were good. I think we are good. Okay, we did the initial sound check and also just make sure like nothing is really leaking, and now we need to put the box on there. Now this box is actually really interesting because it has a couple of places you can screw into, like obviously this area right here, you can screw this in, and then it's using the factory bolts down below. I'm not really sure how I'm gonna get that inside one. I think I'm gonna put my hand through here, but this is a very well-fitting box, I gotta say. It's designed really well to where it lines up with a lot of the factory hoses very well. So it's not like a cheapo box. You know, it's not just like two walls. It's a well-made box, IMO. So an update on the installation bit. We got this back on. There's 2 bolts that go on the side of this. You may or may not can see. We lost one of them, unfortunately. And there's another bolt that said that you can put on the inside of this. We didn't have anything to go in there. So I'm gonna have to check in with Process West to see what the deal is with that. But with the way that this is right now, this is like solid. This is not going anywhere, and this is gonna keep it from going anywhere. So really, I think the way that it is, it's completely fine. All that we have left over is to put the plastic shields back on, and then we're gonna go for a drive and make sure everything is okay. Okay, so this is our first drive after the intake is installed. Jose, you already did like a quick test boost. There's no leak. That was the #1 thing. So we're on my test road. I think, what is it? Did it show like 17?
It shows 17.2.
17.2, which that means like there's no boost leak. So now, whenever you just be careful of the cops, but just like rip it and let's hear this exhaust or this intake. Yeah, it's got the psh. It's got the psh that you were looking for.
It does.
Now, I will say, I don't know if it's the box, because it does have a box on it. If the box is definitely
quieting down.
Yeah, making it quieter. Because normally, like, at least on my exhaust, I don't have a box, and most ones that don't have a box do have a slightly louder induction noise, like a psh.
Yep.
Like the psh part, that I don't care about that, but just like hearing it. But like still, and I'm sitting on the passenger side, I don't really hear it.
The sucking sound?
But I do hear it a little bit. But like, I mean, when you, between shifts or like if you let off, I definitely do hear it. So you know it's working.
Correct.
But like now you tell me, you just went from stock to an OTS. How does it feel?
Smiles.
Yeah. Because like but now here's the thing, like when you go from the OTS to maybe one above, I don't know if you're going to feel it as much, because the biggest difference is feeling that extra torque. Look at these people, don't know how to use a roundabout. I wish we got that on camera. Yeah, we're going to go straight. And then you're going to make a left at that light.
Okay.
And then that's like 60 mile per hour road.
Okay.
You can do some stuff there. Ooh, somebody got stopped.
Sorry.
Is the tune off of the Cobb OTS and then just modifies the values for the intake. That's something actually I'm going to ask him on his next tuner talk.
That's like a good release.
Yeah. My favorite part is like when you shift or like you do a pull and you kind of let off, and it makes a good sound. That's good.
Yeah, I'm happy.
Good. Yeah. How many miles have you had on this car before you got it to?
25,000.
Man, you've been driving 25,000 miles just completely stock. And this is why I was like, I don't like driving. I let you drive. It's your car. You know what it's felt like this entire time.
Correct.
And then as soon as you tune it, you'll know like, oh wow, that's really good.
Yeah, once you said that, I was also thinking like for you it should be a letdown because you're pulling so much more horsepower.
Well, like I don't notice it.
Yes.
Like even when I switch between my 93 and my E85 BAP, because they both have like a good amount of torque, I don't feel the difference. When I drive a stock car is when I feel it. All right, we just came back from our drive, and I gotta say, I'm glad that everything is working. We have the proper amount of boost, nothing flew off, which sometimes those things happen, even to myself. I've actually blown my charge pipe off a few times before a long trip. That's a little scary. So overall, I gotta say the sound is, it is not as loud as it could be, but I think it's because the box is on there. But overall, hopefully you guys can hear it from the driving impressions. It has a good tone, it's got a good sound, and it's not like overbearing. So if you're looking for an intake that is not too loud, it's like right in the middle, this is a good one. All right, Jose, so you've had this car for 22,000 miles, completely stock.
Correct.
Tell me, how much fun was that?
It was a lot of fun. First of all, always thank you for helping.
Do what I can.
Melanie down at Felix.
Oh yeah.
If I said that right. Dmann, tuned amazing. I am quite happy, quite surprised. I had the intake sitting in my living room for a year almost. My fault. I wasn't prepared. Now that I did it, now I know why people say, get a tune.
Get a tune and intake.
Yep.
Yep.
It makes the car so much better.
Yeah.
I'm speechless.
I'm sorry for your gas mileage. Now, you may have gotten like a lot of gas mileage, but you won't anymore.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's just how it is.
It's a sports sedan.
Yeah. All right. Hopefully you guys found this video informative. Hopefully Process West, actually I'm going to send this video to Process West because I do have some questions about some parts, especially like trying to get the
fitment?
Well, no, the fitment was good.
Yeah.
It was that one bolt that was on the inside. Yeah. I don't know what bolt it was that they were talking about because we only had the one, and I realized that I didn't change that. The one that we did have was supposed to go in the middle of the intake, which we didn't do. Which, I mean, it's not a big deal. We just used the OEM, and it fit just fine. So, and the coupler was fine. The coupler fit perfectly over the inlet, and the intake fit perfectly inside. The filter fit perfectly fine. So, like, there was no fitment issues at all, except that one thing inside the box, and it probably wasn't even their fault. It's just like my lack of understanding. So I'll check in with them and try putting like a pin comment if they end up responding, which they're actually pretty good at responding. So if you're looking for an intake that's not too loud, this is a really good one. It's a really good option. There's right now tons of intakes on the market, so it's good to have another option. And Process West, they've been around for, like I said, they've been around for a good while. And a lot of people in the beginning, like you were saying, like back in the day, like it was a pretty big thing to get a Process West stuff. Especially the intercoolers are really cool. I'm hoping that somebody in the community does pick up like one of their top mounts because it is an interesting intercooler. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and we'll see you in the next one.